What's going on, gang? Gonna have a great show for you tonight. We got Coast to Coast comments. We got some cool gangs, members, man. Cool guys in the house. They want to hang out with us tonight, man. You may not seen them before, but I'm pretty sure you have seen them before. We're gonna bring in right now one member that he has been everywhere around the world, man. He is John Kamazukis. What's going on, John?
What is up? Swag style, weekend style. What is up?
What's going on, John? How you doing, sir?
I know that it was coast to coast, so you got one coast I had to represent, right?
Yes, sir. That's how we do, man. That's how we do. That is Coast to Coast Comics, man. That's how we do. If everyone is wondering where is Jeffrey at, Jeffrey takes some time off, so we got another member in the house from the coast. So here he is right now. That's my man, right? My man, my right hand man, John Kamazukis, man. How you doing, John?
I'm doing all right. Good to hang with another one of the four horsemen of comics, man. Here are the icon, Rican.
No, I'm not. They consider me. I've been called that many times, but it is what it is, Johnny boy. But
I hear you got maybe another person from my coast ready to hang with us.
Yeah, this guy right now has some good hair. He has a nice fiance with a nice bling to her finger, and we're gonna bring in right now, guys. If you do not know, no introduction. I'll let him do it. Let's bring in Mike from Downright Podcast.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh,
it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Thank you for having me on, man. I'm happy to be here representing the Northern California because Jeff is a little out right now. But, this is my debut on Coast to Coast Comics, and I'm celebrating with a nice cigar right now because when my boy Rod called me up, was like, hey, can you be on Coast to Coast tonight? It'll be a good time. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And he goes, it's okay. It's going to be chill. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'm going to light up a cigar. I went to my LCS for the first time in 4.5 months, spent a ton of money, and I'm going to need help from some of you guys to try to figure out what I need to read first because I don't even know where to start right now. I got a stack about as big as my face.
Nice.
Holy crap. Whoa, wait a minute. 4 months, you got a stack of comic books, man. Boom. That looks like what I bought today.
Oh my God, this is nothing compared to you.
Well, the thing is, he's just got one character represented in that stack.
Oh, yeah, that's not me. No, I got several.
All right, man. Thank you all for hanging out on the show right now. It's Coast to Coast Comics, man. I'm your host, Brother Rican, man. You know me already. We got John Kamazukis. He's hanging out. You can check him out every Saturday morning, man.
Had you on the big screen this morning, John. Had you on the big screen. See, we usually like doing it on like sometimes we'll be laying in bed. We'll have the YouTubes on our phone, but it was like there's something about being on the couch, eating breakfast, watching you guys talk comics first thing on the weekend. It's a great way to kick the weekend off.
There you go. But nobody needs my forehead that big. It depends on how big your screen is. I don't know.
Oh, it's a 65-inch forehead right there, man.
Ooh, boom.
That's a lot of forehead. And it's only getting bigger.
Oh, man. So how's it been out there, man? Mike, let us know, man.
We're doing okay. I mean, me and John, we're not freezing, which is good. Riley is a bit under the weather. She got her second shot, the COVID thing. So she's. I hear that people say that the second shot kind of knocks you on your butt a little bit. So she's out of commission for a couple hours, but she's already feeling a little bit on the up and up. So that's good. But yeah, man, studio's pretty much done. We are getting ready. We're starting to record actually tonight. Not for the actual. We're recording for other things. We will debut in March, but we're going to start recording tonight, which is kind of fun.
Nice.
It's been a while. I almost forgot how to turn the camera on.
You guys have been doing this huge remodel gig too.
Oh, we bought a house, we gutted it, and we literally built some walls, changed some floors. It's been. I estimated originally we bought the house in October. We literally just got our bed 4 weeks ago. We've been living on an air mattress for 4 months, which if anybody has not slept on an air mattress, it's the most comfortable thing in the world, obviously, because
everybody does it.
It never leaks, and you don't flop around like a kid in a beanbag chair or nothing. But yeah, it's been a ton of fun. It's been a fun experience. It's been an expensive experience, but it's been fun.
Nice, man. That's pretty dope, man. I'm so happy that you're right now, man. Your station and your location, and we're gonna be happy to see more content from you. We miss you and
miss you guys too. It's been fun though, being able to catch up with being on just on the audience side for quite a long time. But almost every week it gives me that itch. I'm like, I want to press record, but my cameras are in storage. Where are they? I don't know where they are. And Riley knows that too. I mean, she's every Saturday we're like, it's so weird sleeping in just because usually by the time we're watching your show, John, we've been up for a couple hours, like getting the studio prepared, getting it ready to record. Because usually what we do is we get it all ready, have our coffee, have our breakfast, watch John's comics with kids. And then as soon as we get done, we're like, okay, time to go record. And then after about 2 hours, I edit for 6 hours or however long it takes, because I'm always having trouble. But I got that YouTube degree, right? I'm just learning on the way.
Exactly.
John is the man. He goes live, every Saturday. That's amazing what he's doing. And if people do not know what he's been doing, so John Cumbers is a great dude. He's a close friend, and Mike too. So, wish I had a cigar, but I don't.
He's just chilling out. Look at him chilling out there.
I got to clean my pool. The thing is dirty. We got cardboard and paintbrushes at the bottom. It's kind of funny.
All right, guys, give me 1 minute to acknowledge the chat right now. Let's see who we got. We got Connecticut Comics in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing, dude? How you doing? We got Hillbilly Collector in the house. What's going on? How you doing, man? Thank you for hanging out on Coast to Coast Comics. Of course, you got John. We got my friend Mike in the house. We got, there he is, Brandon in the house, man. What's going on, man? How you doing, man? What's going on? Let's see who else we got in the house. We got here Crowder 671 in the house. Welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging out on Coast to Coast Comics. Thank you so much, man. And we got Rich Martinez in the house. What's going on? Thank you for hanging out. And of course, we got the lovely Crystal. What's going on, Crystal? How you doing? Glitter and duct tape. I have to say, she is amazing. She always checking on me every time, man, if I don't do something. And she's shout out to Glitter.
Probably one of my favorite names too, Glitter and Duct Tape. I love that name. Ever since I first saw her in a chat, it was was like, oh, glitter and duct tape. It's such a cool name. Always got a kick out of that.
Okay, everywhere around the world, man. We can put it on us if we wanted to. I could put some glitter here, and that will be a disaster. And like you, Mike, we could put some glitter.
Glitter and duct tape's better than glitter and like lotion or something like that. That'll make
Glitter and sunscreen.
yeah, glitter and sunscreen.
All right, man. We're just hanging out here, man. We're just hanging out here. Guys wondering what the heck we're doing here at Coast to Coast Comics. We're hanging out, man. We're having a good time. Got a stack of comics I bought. We're hanging out with John. We're hanging out with Mike. You know, this is what we do. And if you guys want to jump on, let me know. I would drop the link if you want to hang out on the show. You know, this is just a hangout show.
Rod, how you been, man? What have you been up to this week?
Well, I've been up to
Oh, so you lifting weights? That's what you're doing.
well, all right, Mike. You don't gotta go that route. You know, you got the gun, man. You got the gun.
Hey, with all that big stack of books, you'll be up in no time.
All right,
Reps.
the one arm. Look at that. Look at that. Scrawny arm right there. Oh man, I was. We went to over here in Florida. Have a mask on. We went to a little event. It was called Sci-Fi Bartow, and I was happy to hang out with the wifey. And actually, there were not so many vendors like last year. There was like 2 vendors that were selling comics. So they didn't have anything that I wanted. So I went to the LCS and I picked up these books right here. And the funny thing is, my wife said she's going to watch this on a replay. And I rebagged two comics. I rebagged 2 comics. And I said, babe, look, I rebagged 2 comics. And how about this one? This one has not rebagged. She goes, I like the old one. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
The old bag?
She liked the old bag and the smell. I was like,
well, I mean, I'll give it to her. There is something to be said, I think, about the smell of an old comic book. You know, I think it's, I don't know. For me, it's almost like when you go into like the old section of a bookstore, you kind of have that smell. You're like, oh man, there's some history in this. I don't know. Or maybe it's just me. I like smelly things. I don't know.
I do too. But that's why she was doing it. She was busting my balls because I was rebagging it. And then she found an old comic book. She smelled it. And she's like, I like the old smell. That's what she was doing to me. You know? But I've picked up some goodness. You guys could keep talking if you want to. But, you know, I just picked up a whole bunch of deep goodness, man.
That's what I'm saying. Get that Daredevil.
Oh man, I got a gigantic haul.
If Mike is catching up on anything, he better be reading some of that Daredevil that Zdarsky's been dropping.
How do you say that? Because I do got a ton of that Daredevil in here.
It's been
so not as big as his stack. I got maybe like 2 or 3 of those, but
dude, it's
whatever
been so good. It's been so good.
Yeah.
From all the stuff that was like the Battle of Hell's Kitchen into the courtroom stuff, and then now into the King in Black. It's just all been great.
Am I the only one that thinks that the courtroom scenes in the Daredevil is almost as entertaining as like the action scenes? Because we always expect action, but the courtroom stuff is just such smart writing that I was more amazed at that than anything else.
I totally agree.
I would have to say the bathroom scene was the best one so far. That thing was epic.
I don't think I got there yet.
Oh,
he's
spoiler.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. It's all right. There's a bathroom scene. First time I see a toilet, I'll get excited, as I normally do.
So I dropped the link. Anyone that wants to hang out, let me say hello to a few people in the house right now. We got Prodder in the house. What's going on? And some Jojo in the house. What's going on? Flicks and comics. What is going on? Captain Comics in the house. What's going on, Cap? How you doing?
What is up, Cap? Always nice seeing you, brother.
Oh, wait a minute. Fatal G in his house.
Hey.
Whoa.
Fatal
What's
J
up,
is here?
Yeah, he's in the house, man.
Yo.
I'll drop the link for Fatal J because this guy got a thing, or he's got his opinion on certain things. But man, here I don't even know what I'm doing, man.
He's getting all pumped for that Snyder cut. You know it. He is ready for that.
Yeah,
I'm saying Fatal J. I'm not me. I'm saying Fatal J.
No, I know. Yeah. He's probably he's been talking. Actually, to give to his credit, he had been saying that the Snyder Cut was going to happen way before it was even announced. I mean, he has some good connections in some other places. So I mean, all credit to Fatal J. He's got the info, the 411 on anything DC right now.
Totally.
Greg says John needs to shave his head and beard to fit in.
Not
I
gonna
tried doing the beard and it was just god awful. It looked like a half shaved dog or something like that. It was patchy. It was terrible. It was itchy. I don't know how you do it. It just does not fit me.
You keep it clean, high and tight.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy, man. We're hanging out with these guys right now.
What are you guys' favorite reads right now, other than Daredevil? We already talked Daredevil.
Well, I got my stack from this week. I will say, as far I'm an indie guy. I'm an indie guy first these days, and so most of my favorite stuff is indies. This We Live has been a great 5-issue story that just wrapped. I don't know when Aftershock drops their trades, if it's like something that happens in the first couple weeks after they finish a story arc, or if they wait like a few months. But We Live just ended, and I thought it ended really well. And they're setting up, obviously, future storylines. So they're not going to publish a new issue till, I think, summer. But this was a really good ending. So that, definitely a big fan. I'm sure, Mike,
it was only 5-ish.
Yeah. Mike, did you get some of these?
So the last Ronin, I've actually just been reading on Hoopla.
Digitally reading it?
I actually just recently discovered Hoopla, which is awesome. I love that app. That app is great. And
Nice.
I am caught up. There's only 2 issues, right, of Last
Just
Ronin?
the 2, yeah. They're
so
publishing it's like every 3 or 4 months they publish one.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I've actually been very happy. I admit I am not very well versed in the TMNT world, but these 2 issues, they got me intrigued, and I kind of want to go back and visit some of those older Eastman books.
I mean, the original run obviously is pretty freaking great and iconic. And there's all kinds of collected editions you can read. And I'm sure digitally you can find a ton of them too. I would totally recommend that. I have some very old graphic novels for that. Ooh. There's some Daredevil. I was telling Rod he's got at least one of the run of Daredevil when it was named Daredevil and Black Widow. It was like 16 issues where that was the title.
Oh, interesting.
I only have like one or two of those 16, but it's I always really thought that was a fun.
Was that something that they were thinking about doing for a long period, or did after 16 issues were they like, this isn't really working, or this story has just reached its end?
I think they were always trying to keep Daredevil relevant as a character, and he was often partnered with her. But the truth is, she jumped in on a ton of comics over the years and was like, it was always like something and Black Widow. Right. Black Widow. She was on this comic for a while, and then they changed the name officially for about 16 issues. Born Again, one of my all-time favorite comics, drawn by David Mazzucchelli and written by Frank Miller. It is fire.
Born Again, John. I just finished the book, man. Yep. I signed it. I gotta send it out someone to make it really bad.
So, do you have it nearby? Do you have it around?
Oh, it's in my work bag.
Because this book for Mike, who doesn't know, this was I buy copies of Daredevil Born Again whenever I see them for cheap. Okay. And I just keep them. I've got 2 right now over there, and I send them to friends who haven't read it. So one day, Edwin the comic jabroni was just railing on Rod about how he hated his Daredevil. Mr. Magoo knows kung fu and all that stuff. And I was like, I got you. I know your address. I got you. And I wrote a little note. Like, actually, it was a pretty long note inside the book, and I mailed it to him. I said, "You don't have to pay anything. You just read this. Give it a shot." And he read it and admitted on air. He was like, "Yeah, this was good. Like, I'm fine. This was good to read. This is good to read." And then he sent it to Tony Old Wolf, I think.
Old Wolf, yeah.
Old Wolf read it. He loved it. He signed it. He sent it to Rod. Now Rod read it and Rod signed it, and it's going on again.
Like a little library card in there.
That's
or something.
What you want to. And I have not read the Gideon Falls that you said.
Oh, you have?
I said I'm going to do the same thing with.
Oh God, I forgot I had actually sent that to
you. You did, yeah, you did.
That's funny. So here's the Daredevils that I picked up here. These are this run, right?
That's when he's in the court. Yeah.
Oh, there it
Disclaimer,
is.
everybody in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm way behind on my books.
Oh,
I got this guy here.
Ooh, that's a big book. That's a big book.
It's a big book? Why is it a big book?
I'm not going to tell you. You got to read it.
Is this the bathroom scene book? No.
Okay. No, it's not the bathroom scene book. There's the aliens cover. You see the aliens?
Yeah. I liked how they're doing a bunch of those covers. It's really neat.
Elektra always good on a cover.
I love this one.
She's smoking hot.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got the flex-in one. Look at him. Look how ripped he looks in there. He's got those neck muscles.
I'm not sure which issue this one is. Obviously, it's a.
You got to pull the backing board up. It's on the back.
I'm assuming it's a version. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are my Daredevil book that I got.
Alex Ross did those what they call the timeless variants. Rod's got his right behind him. Boom.
It's 23.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
He did a ton of them. I want to say there's like 30 of them or 40 of them.
Alex Ross?
Yeah, he did one for like all these Marvel characters. And if you watch Big Will Comics channel,
yes,
he's built a display behind him with all of them.
Oh, so cool. Ooh. That's just like showing off at this point.
It's all right, y'all. That's just issue 2.
I've been here 24 minutes, already busting my balls. I said nice things about you. I just want you to know that. I said nice things.
Yeah, you're my best friend, man. God.
You just gave me the biggest nut shot ever. Jeez.
Oh, man.
My brother used to do a thing called the rubber finger. I don't know if anyone, and he would like waggle his finger and then smack you in the head with the nail. Man, that hurts.
It's rude.
Hey, big brothers like that, right?
Oh, man.
So I'll show off what I bought today, Rod. You want to see?
Yes,
I showed Rod before in live. So I've been doing the Omni X-Men show with my pal No Good Comics.
Who's
I
that
got
guy?
I got volume 2 a while back to keep it going. Gonna do the show. I got volume 3 recently. Look at that. Now it's getting dangerous. And today,
Boom.
it's still happening. Still, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be doing this show for years just to read through.
That's
This
what
is
you
all the way
call X-Men Giant Jenga.
right. Oh my god! So now I'm talking about lifting some weights, right? Do some reps with these guys.
Oh,
There it is.
yeah.
My only Omnis that I own, but bam, there they are.
Yeah, those are nice. I admit I have probably read a 1/20th of all that.
There's probably an issue or two in there that maybe I haven't read, but I like to think I've read them all at some point. But this goes from Giant Size X-Men and then X-Men 94 all the way through 193. So there's about 100 X-Men.
And you completed your run, right?
What's that?
You completed your run, right? That you were.
Yes, I own every single issue in the Claremont run except one of them is at my brother's house, and he has yet to deliver it because he's still COVID concerned, and so it's sitting at his house waiting for me to come get it.
No, he's just sitting there, just being like, "All right, how bad do you want it?"
Right. Oh yeah, he's gonna absolutely rubber finger me for it. So yeah, these are my 4. But they have a bunch of other issues in here. So like this one includes X-Men versus Alpha Flight. This one includes the whole Magic and Wolverine. The Wolverine miniseries by Frank Miller is in here. The 4 issues of Wolverine. So there's a bunch of other stuff besides just the Uncanny issues. Ooh. Volume 5 is the one I really want. Volume 5 includes my favorite storyline.
I'm gonna drop the link to see if Eric would jump on, because that would be hilarious. If it'd be something funny. I have not seen,
Perry. Perry talking about smoking his weed.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna be doing. But we'll find
Shout out to Entropy and Comics. Hello, Kevin, and thank you, Todd Christian. That was very kind of you to say, man.
Yeah, we got glitter, and don't take Fatal J. Man, thanks so much, all guys, for hanging on the show, man. Really do appreciate that. We got Mike from Downright Nerdy
Podcast.
Thank you. There it is.
Soon to be known by a different name, but I'll let you guys know that.
Oh, I like to hear it though. I like to hear it.
Do you want to hear it now? Did you really want to hear it? So I'm not going to be known as just Downright Nerdy anymore. We are kind of branching out, and I think you guys see that our umbrella is My Mom's Basement Studios. We're actually creating several new shows that are going to be under that My Mom's Basement banner. That's going to be going pretty much 5 to 6 days a week.
Woo!
Should be fun. You'll still be able to get a long version of our podcast only on the audio side, but we've kind of learned that the 1.5 hour long shows don't do as well here on the YouTube, so we're condensing them, putting them into smaller bite-sized videos that hopefully are actually a little bit more entertaining than before, and a lot less and us jibber jabbering at each other. Maybe we'll have like a jibber jabber like compilation at the very end of the year or something. But other than that, pretty exciting.
That's exciting.
I kind of want to show off my favorite parts of what I bought today.
Do it. Let's see it.
Just 3 books that I've been super excited about.
All right, here it is.
And issues 21, 22. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't get them all. I'm sorry. Only two of them. I already have that one. 2 issues that I'm extremely excited about is Gideon Falls 26 and 27. Oh, my gosh. This I didn't even realize, man, this is a thick book. This one's thick.
Is that which issue is that?
This one's 27. This one is really big. It's almost a double or triple. Interesting.
Nice.
This has been a mind trip. It's been a ton of fun. The guy Jeff Lemire, I'm hit and miss with some of his stuff, but with Gideon Falls, I've loved it.
I've really been happy with pretty much everything I've read by him. In particular, I'm obviously a very big Descender fan at Image.
Yes.
I think that book is lights out amazing. And just for you, Rod, I'll show. I have yet to show this book off anywhere, but I snagged a 9.8 for that book. White Pages Beauty here. Had to do it. Had to do it.
What's the order of reading it again?
What's that?
What's the order in reading it? Is it Ascender first or is it Descender?
No, Ascender is the second series. So Descender has 6 trade paperbacks. I think they sell them in 3 collected hardbacks if you'd rather read it that way.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I just got that. They're super reasonably priced because there's no spec alert on that book. So you can
let's say hello right now. Of course, this is the first time ever. This is the true first appearance. This could be a 9.8, whatever it could be. Let's bring in right now, man. We got someone by the name by Flash by Night.
What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing?
Doing great, sir. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for the intro, Rod. But if I am an 8.5, I'll be happy. I'll take an 8.5 all day long.
What's going on, Flash? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Just hanging out, and wanted to pop in before the sun set on the show. Also, I heard the because I've heard about the DareDevil story before with the book being signed and moving around, and so I have this Oblivion song.
Well, I haven't read that yet. I hear it's good.
I have not read it either, but here's the fun part. Let's see if I can find it. There we go.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
That so when I got this in a giveaway, and when the first page I opened it to, the comic jabroni was there, and I just looked up Bruce and Stephanie. I think they're on Instagram also. And I'm not sure who they are, but I'm pretty sure they're a decently well-known part of the community.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
yeah, that book. Edwin bought that. We reviewed that on book club one night. Oblivion Song, and he bought it so that because he was a big fan. He talked me into talking about it on book club, and then he gave it away. And I think Bruce and Stephanie got it clearly, and then they gave it away. That's awesome.
So I'm going to try and be true to the spirit of the book and give it a read and sign it and keep it moving. Let's start this train again.
That's awesome.
That's what we're gonna do.
I love it, man. That's so cool.
That's what it's all about, man. The whole point is we hang out with the community, try to grow, and that's what we're doing. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. This is what we do, man. It's tech comics. Laps. Mike is in the house, man. Mike has been busy, and we got John Comics with Kids. We got Flash by Night. If you guys don't know Flash by Night, check him out right now. Yo, Flash, what you got going on, man? You just don't right now, so let the people know.
So I made a video last night and posted it today about my not so new comic book day this week. Apparently, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the weather, which I'm hoping everybody is doing is safe or doing as well as possible. Or if it has anything to do with I think Diamond may be reorganizing or whatnot. But none of the LCSs that I know here got their new Marvel or independent books this week.
Yeah.
and
I've
and
heard
so
that.
and so my new comic book day video became a not so new comic book day video. And I have some books, I just don't have new books.
All right.
And I actually planned on being. I wanted to check out a couple of indie books. The what is it, Shadow Doctor and Black Cotton. I really wanted to see what those two were about.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to wait and see if they even got ordered, and then try to track them down. But that was my fun for the week. Oh, and I did put a giveaway inside of that video for whoever might want to give it a look and try to get in it. It's not a big giveaway. It's a couple of second printings that people have sought after. Like I said, nothing huge. Nobody's gonna flip it and pay rent with it this month. It's just a couple of books I grabbed and thought it'd be nice to give away.
Nice. I just dropped the link to your channel, so people, if they want to subscribe to Flash by Night, just click the link and head on over.
Oh,
Just
right.
Yes, sir.
That is great. That is great. Thank you very much. We're trying to get this the little engine that could up the hill.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Flash by Night. So, what are your favorite comics? Like, and how did you kind of like? How long have you been reading / collecting?
I have been. When did I've got an exact date? Well, an exact time frame. When did Captain America: Winter Soldier come out? Did anybody remember the year?
2012? No.
Has it been that long?
No, maybe 2014 actually.
Okay,
So
that's when I started reading. I've always watched comic book shows, comic book movies, but I never actually thought about reading the comic books themselves. And then I watched Captain America: Winter Soldier, great movie. But since I'm not a comic book reader, I was caught completely off guard by Bucky still being alive and being the Winter Soldier. And I found out that the comic book readers had known this probably since I was still in college.
So they're watching you in the theater getting all crazy, and you're like, we knew that already.
And you know what? That's a great feeling too, because when Infinity War came out, the look on people's faces who did not expect Thanos to actually win in that movie, and the quiet around the movie theater was great, knowing that there's like a 50% chance this thing actually happens.
Oh, my girls were so mad. My daughters are like, "You can't look at this movie. What is wrong with you?" All their favorite characters. Like my daughter loves Loki and Vision. She's like, Loki and Vision, my favorite characters. I was like, well, the starting and the ending of the movie.
That is funny. In fact, I saw this TikTok video a couple of days ago, and I just watched it again maybe a couple of hours ago with dressed up characters, people at a party or whatever, and Thanos is one of the characters that's there, and Batman has him on the ground.
Oh, gosh.
And the kid runs up and he soccer punch. He kicks Thanos so hard. Like this kid is like, you are not gonna snap my mom out of existence. This kid was serious about Thanos, and he ran up and kicked him, and then somebody shooed this kid back. And while everybody's handling that business, another kid comes up and gets like little smaller kicks in on Thanos.
Did you see the very end of that with Iron Man? He's just sitting there like, oh,
Iron Man, Spider-Man doing the same thing.
It's so funny. So funny.
That was great.
But yeah, so I started reading comics after Captain America: Winter Soldier, and I may have started collecting comics 2 years ago. Actually putting some kind of effort into collecting and kind of learning the tricks of the trade and learning the ropes and what's value and where to find things and what to look for and what sites exist, and what's that?
Do you recall the first book you read?
I do not recall the very first book I read.
Was it a Captain America, like a Bucky type of thing? Since that's or Civil War kind of.
No, it wasn't actually. So I am a Marine Corps veteran, and so when I decided that I was going to read comics, I knew that at least one book was going to be about a Marine Corps vet, and I chose Moon Knight, basically. And I'm pretty sure that's probably the one of the first books I bought was a Moon Knight book. I think Lemire's run was going on at the time. But the first story I vividly remember reading was The Death of the Mighty Thor, issue 700 with Jane Foster.
Wow, good book.
That was a really, really good story to me. I know Jane Foster has her fans and has her detractors.
I love it, man. I love it.
But the idea that this regular person who knows she has cancer and knows that being Thor, having the power of Thor, is going to kill her one day, but yet she still picks up the hammer whenever she's called, is a really good premise to me. And then 705 happened, and she kind of really, really, in my eyes, earned the worthiness when she knew that the next transformation was going to kill her. And the hammer came to her, and Mangog was gouging Heimdall's eyes out and all this other stuff. And she took the hammer knowing that she wasn't going to make it back.
That's what a hero does, right? Isn't that what it says in Ragnarok? That's what a hero does.
Yes, that's what heroes do.
Yep.
And
man,
then
I really wish I read that before I jumped on today, but it's all good.
Oh man, I'm sorry about that.
No, I've been way behind, dude. All my books. So
I would say that whole Jason Aaron run, whether you started God of Thunder and the whole God Butcher stuff, or whether you go through the King Thor issues, or I really love. There's a 5-issue run called the Thor the Unworthy, and I love Thor the Unworthy. I think it's a fantastic story where he's dealing with his pride and his self-doubt, and he's traveling the universe and figuring out who is he if he's not Thor. So cool.
I read Thor the Unworthy, but I've got to go back now that I'm a more seasoned reader. I guess I need to go back and read it again because there's some things going on in Thor the Unworthy, including one character saving another, and the saving character thinking that it gives her the right to this character's hand in marriage, which doesn't work out in the end. No. I won't spoil who those two characters are, but somebody gets left on the altar. Later on,
reminds me of a Family Guy clip when they do a cutback to Mario. He's defeating Bowser, and then he gets the princess, and he's like, "Hey, how about a kiss?" And she goes, "Wait, what? Why?"
basically,
weirdo are you? Like, you're just a plumber? No.
Yeah, as a lot of people say, I don't think Mario saving the princess and automatically getting her hand will work now like it did in the 80s. I don't think anybody's going for that nowadays.
Plumbers make good money. I mean, that's a good investment for a husband.
I know, because paying, like almost every other week.
I'm saying,
but to answer my favorite character or my favorite reading, I started reading Flash in Rebirth with Joshua Williamson writing him, and so I finished that whole run from start to finish, and I'm basically unless somebody really tanks the character, I'm probably a Flash guy for life.
There's so many great runs on Flash that there's some great writers that get in there.
And I have to find. I don't know if I ever find time between now and 2050 to read every
Josh
last story I need
is
to
doing
read.
a great job, and he's been doing nail biter, so that's something different out the box. So
Yeah,
you
and
know,
he's and if anybody's reading or will read Batman, he is writing a backup story in the Batman coming up in Infinite Frontier, with Damian Wayne, leading to his Damian Wayne solo, and so there's another book that has to go on the pull list because Joshua Williamson has my allegiance also. And I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Damian past. He's Batman's son, and he can be a bit of a brat. I don't know. I don't know much besides that, but
You should check out. I think it's 2 or 3 trades worth, but it's Super Sons, and it's Damian partnering up with Jonathan Kent, Superman's son.
yes.
And it's hilarious because you can see how their fathers have raised 2 completely different kids, and the way they try to solve things and use each. I mean, Damian is clearly the brains and clearly manipulating Jonathan a bunch, but Jonathan has such a good heart. Jonathan is such a good kid that you want them to work it out. And yeah, Super Sons is hilarious and an awesome good read. Shout out to Lord Roscoe. He's reading Scout's Honor, which is a great indie, great book. Yes. Good book.
read, man. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're pushing toward that hour mark. Oh man,
They say time flies when you're having fun.
it does, it really does. And let's see here. I want to keep it in the hour mark. Let's see here. Flashback Comics. What you got going on? Let the people know.
Like I said before, I'm basically doing haul videos and new comic book day videos, and maybe doing some review videos. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do those. I've been doing them one way with the camera right on the book and kind of explaining how the book goes, but I'm not sure if I'm giving away too much or if that's something that'll stick. Besides that, I'm weighing some ideas, trying to find my way in this space, and trying to see what the community's about. There we go. And try not to trip over my words every 5 or 6 words.
All right. Awesome, dude. Awesome. All right. Let me fix this right now. And John is in the background.
Oh, I thought he disappeared.
I will bring John back. I don't know what the hell happened right there.
The great and magical, powerful John. Yeah.
Rod was just like,
No, don't say that, man. Don't say that, man.
With the snap of a finger, I can get rid of a quarter of the universe.
Make me feel so bad right there. But right now, we got Mike from Downright Dirty Podcast in the house. Downright, Mike, let the people know, man.
yeah, well, yeah, Mike, I'm one of the hosts of the Downright Nerdy Podcast, which is something that I've done with my fiance Riley for the past. We did it for about a year. We took a hiatus, but we're coming back. We're coming back in March, and all the names are going to start changing a little bit. So if you start seeing My Mom's Basement Studios right down here in the bottom left of your screen, that's us. So we're starting that's going to be our umbrella, I guess, name, and having a whole bunch of other shows underneath, everything from reviews to podcast, movie reviews. We're starting this really fun new segment. I'll give you a little spoiler right now. It's called what did I call it? Unpopular Opinion. it's going to be kind of fun where we kind of play devil's advocate to exciting news like in the that's going on. But yeah, make sure you guys sub up everybody here. Flash by Night. I just subbed you up, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you come out with, my friend. And I'm really happy that you came on the show. My very first time ever on YouTube on someone else's channel was right here on Rod's channel. I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for Rod. So it's a good place.
All right. Well said. Well
Too
said.
big. Too big. Make it small. Make it small.
I'm trying to make it small, man.
That's the never.
Too much attention.
Man, Mike is a cool dude, man. You know, we text from time to time, and I told my wife, I said, "You know Mike, right?" And right, and she's like, "Who was that? The one with that she had the hat on?" So she knows a certain thing.
In my house, he's the one that tried to eat a 10 by 10 In-N-Out burger.
Tried? That was successful, my friend. Successful in under 10 minutes, I might add.
By the way, I like the idea of the hot take segment. Little bit of contentious, little bit of like the devil's advocate. I like that because I don't always agree with a lot of the things I hear, and so every once I may consider that road myself.
And that's the beauty about this, right? I mean, there's like millions of books out there. It's not for everybody, right? People are going to have different opinions. What some people may like we were talking about Jeff Lemire earlier. I don't like all of his stuff. I wasn't a fan of that Sentient book that he wrote. But I mean, like I said, I do love Gideon Falls. It's just I've met a couple people that didn't like Gideon Falls. It's just whatever it is. Everybody's different. There's a great I can't remember who said it, but it was actually in regards to novels, which I think could be translated to comic books. Is like all four of us can read one comic book, the same comic book, and have a completely different reaction to that book. So it's interesting to see everybody's different points, which is why this community is great, because you get different points of view from literally hundreds of people about the same thing that everybody's reading. I think it's great. I went off on a rant. I do that a lot. I talk too much. You gotta stop me.
Tell that to the guys that hate the fact I like Heroes in Crisis. People hate that I like that book. Everything didn't make sense to me, but some things did. And people and they're like, well, this is not how this should be handled, and this is not how that should have been handled. I'm like, well, but it happens in real life. And I know people don't like real life in their books, but it happens.
But it's it's kind of funny on that flip side. Chip Zdarsky, right? A great Daredevil writer.
Yes.
My favorite thing of his is actually Jughead. That's my favorite thing that Chip Zdarsky that I love. I love his Jughead series. It's great.
Yeah, he's got a great sense of humor.
Yes, he does. It is. If anybody hasn't read I think it's from like 2012 or 2014 or something like that. Jughead is hilarious. Go read it.
I remember hearing when he pitched doing Daredevil to Marvel, everybody was like, the funny guy, the comedian funny guy is going to write Daredevil? That's not a very funny book. Why don't you give him Deadpool or something? And he's like, no, I got an idea for Daredevil. I really want to do it. And he had to really like sell them on his vision. Now it's like the hot book at Marvel, but like it was like that he really had to pitch it.
I think that's what I was listening to. I was on the road last week, coming from Greensboro, North Carolina, and I was listening to this podcast called the Marvel Method with Method Man, and he was doing an interview with Dan Slott, and Dan Slott told a similar kind of story, where he was a comedic writer for a long time, and he said that he had to basically disappear off the map and come back at DC with something really gritty for him to have a second chance at a career being a serious writer.
That's crazy.
So I guess sometimes you can get pigeonholed in certain spaces.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So many people in the chat they're just chatting away. Thank you all for chatting away. We'll do something a little different right now. I've never done this before, but if you guys had a, I've done this for interviews. Rapid fire.
Drum roll, please.
Fire, just any rapid fire questions you want to throw out to us. John just leaned back for a second right now. Yeah. Just a few questions, like two questions. Let's make it easy, man, because we have a life. We have to hang out with the wifey and the whole 9 yards. So a question for any of us right now. So let's see who gets the first question.
You waiting for someone in the chat to drop a question, or one of us?
The chat.
Chat asked a question.
It's the chat.
All right, chat. You got a chance here. Drop a couple of questions, and we'll run through them. See what we can do for you.
All right. Let's see, man. Let's see right now, man. Coast comic.
Flash, have you read any Green Lantern? I don't know if you're a Green Lantern fan at all.
I have not read any Green Lantern.
He was a character that I grew into in adulthood. Like, I didn't like him as a kid, but the whole space police thing, I kind of dig it. And you might want to check out. Don't ignore the Rican. He doesn't know what he's talking. But
make sure you check out the movie. It's A+.
Yeah, the movie. Oh, Jesus.
I did watch the movie, and because I don't read Green Lantern, that's my only source of knowledge. And I'm like, why do people hate like the movie? The movie isn't great. It isn't a masterpiece. But like, why do people hate this movie so much? But then I guess people who have read the material and who love Hal Jordan, they if the character or the movie doesn't live up to their standards, then that's kind of what happens. But I watch it as a person who's consumed more media than books over his lifetime. Like, well, it's all right.
You should. So I recommend reading. It's the first trade to read. I think is a really great one. It's called Secret Origins, and it basically retells his origin, Hal Jordan's origin, and sets up Jeff Johns' run, which is an amazing run on Green Lantern. So I'd recommend that for anybody who wants a starting line for Green Lantern.
Speaking of starting lines, Flash, what you jumped into Flash in Rebirth, right?
Yes.
Is that a good place to start? I'm not very versed with when it comes to Flash.
I feel like it is. It suited me pretty well, and now I'm trying to go back and catch up with. It's hard to go back and catch up with the Flash because there's a solid line between Barry Allen and Wally West, and each of them has a good chunk of story to read on their own, and so I want to learn more about Wally, but I've still got to go back and catch up on Barry, and I got
into Flash. I'm sorry, I got into Flash through the Rebirth, and that was where I started, and now it's like I'm not really into it, but the whole Rebirth was pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just haven't read them yet.
I really did enjoy it. I'm of the opinion, maybe because so many people have complained about Tom King's Batman and Bendis' Superman. I'm of the opinion that since Rebirth, Flash is actually the pulse of DC. I'm gonna wear that sign and I may get a hat made that says Flash is the pulse of DC, and we'll have. In fact, in Infinite Frontier, I don't know if Flash or the Justice League comes out with their first issue first, but I read the synopsis for the first Flash after Future State, and you find out who the new leader of the Justice League is in the Flash book. And because it led to Doomsday Clock, and Doomsday Clock ruined Watchmen.
I will say I totally agree with Flash here on Rebirth Flash being strong. If you haven't read it, the Williamson run where it kicks in, it is a good starting spot. Michael, you can totally get in on the character, and they introduce a really cool new villain, and it is the exception to the DC Rebirth is kind of weak theory is that because the Flash was so good. The problem was only a handful of people were really reading Flash. Most people wanted Batman to be good, and Batman wasn't. Or they wanted Superman to be good, and Superman and Wonder Woman were really Wonder Woman's okay. I like the Wonder Woman.
I didn't read Superman or Batman, but the hearsay and chatter sounds to me like Batman was good and acceptable up until issue 50.
The wedding.
Yeah, the wedding that didn't happen, and
I totally agree with that.
People bought promotional material.
Oh my God.
I got one of the little postcards for the wedding. Of course, on the back was the reading order for Batman and for the wedding. But I got one of the little postcards, and I put it in my cubicle at work, and told everybody, yeah, Batman and Catwoman are getting married. And I work with people, most of them older than me, and so that just blew their mind and everything. And then when issue 50 came out, I had to tell them Batman and Catwoman didn't get married.
One of my LCSs, she planned her wedding and found out Batman was getting married at the same summer. And so she was super excited in her shop, and she was like putting stuff up. And she was so upset, man. She was so upset that it didn't go through. So, yeah.
I have to agree with Fable in the sense that he finds DC tough to get into. I completely agree, just because it's so extensive and there's so much history with DC.
Yeah,
it's hard to find a good starting point. I have not read Future State yet. I hear good things. I just haven't gotten a chance to jump in on that yet. Swamp Thing,
some of them are good. Like I hear great things about Swamp Thing, which he's mentioning, and I just snagged the first 2 issues. There's only 2 issues. I snagged them off of comicbookcampaign.com, which is a community member. He started his own website, and whenever I need a back issue I can't find on my LCS, I just go to his site, and I ordered them from him. So I'm excited to read that one. And then I liked the Wonder Woman that Joelle Jones did. I think she's just a supremely talented artist, and she wrote and drew that one. That's the Yara Torres, the one that's not.
Okay, Yara. Okay,
yeah,
that Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she did the new Wonder Woman.
I've got issues 1 and 2 of the Yara Wonder Woman, but I hadn't got a chance to read them yet. I read issue 1 of Immortal Wonder Woman, and it was really interesting, being that this book looks to be at the very edge of time, or for DC. So it was pretty interesting.
It was so sad though. Flash.
Wait,
man.
Have you read issue 2? I heard issue 2 was
man.
I heard issue 2 was sad. I got a feeling I know why, and I actually want to know why. In issue 1, I won't give it away in case somebody read it, but a certain character is a whole lot older than I would have thought when he showed up in this book. I want a background as to why that is, because I know it's not economically feasible, but I would have loved like 6 months of Future State to actually get.
Their original plan was to do something more aggressive.
Yes.
And I think the fans got really upset, and then they had to kind of make this amalgam work, which is why some of them have been really weird and choppy, and they've mixed like 3 stories into one book and some of that.
Yeah. I think they
just got cold feet, I think, about it.
But going back to what Fable was saying, is that another reason why DC is tough to get into. Actually, the argument could also be made with some of the new Marvel, is that there's so many like tie-ins, and there's so many stories that are under one banner. It's almost, it just takes a toll on the wallet to buy all those books every week, just week by week. I almost feel like maybe trades is where it's at to start getting into a DC or Marvel at some point. If you like what kind of new.
I'm a huge proponent of the Marvel Unlimited app. For
Mhm.
people that have a good iPad or something at home, you can read so many great back issues and stories. The price is super reasonable, and they have so much Marvel on there. So if you're at all trying to get into Marvel, it's the easiest way to do it, and you get a
But the thing with
ton of-
Marvel Unlimited, you pay a monthly subscription, and then you pay on top of that to get the certain issues. No,
Marvel Unlimited, you get everything's, obviously they have the 6-month buffer. Obviously, they're not going to give you the new book that drops that day, because that's like then people are going to be pirating it even worse than before. So you just wait 6. But the reason to buy it is to be catching up on stuff. You're like, oh, I never read Infinity War. Oh, I never read Civil War. Whatever. You can go back and start like, hey, I've never read the Uncanny X-Men. You can go back to any issue in the run and just read it straight through. Hundreds and hundreds of issues of everything.
I also like the Fable, I think that's his name, brought up the Future State Teen Titans story. I have issue 2. I only read issue 1 so far, but I jumped into Teen Titans because the Flash book leads into Teen Titans for Future State purposes, and I believe Teen Titans leads into Shazam. I hadn't checked out Shazam yet, but the Flash Future State book, number 1 started off kind of iffy. Number two just cemented the whole thing I was saying about the Flash being the pulse of DC, and being hope for DC.
And it's been, I would say, Flash has been the most consistent book for a long time. People have been telling me, I mean, Rod, of course, has been saying it for a long time, but Burke family, a bunch of people have been hardcore Flash fans for quite a while and just riding it, just enjoying it.
Yeah. So much so I'm looking at new books. I think the Suicide Squad book, I've never tried to check out the Suicide Squad any further than the movie. But the new Suicide Squad book, somehow one of the speedsters from Future State is going to end up in the new Suicide Squad book. I'm not sure if that means she made some kind of jump, or if Suicide Squad is actually set in the Future State timeline going forward. I don't know.
I know that they're trying to clean up their timeline, because they got a bunch of books like Generation, I think it was Generation Next, and then they've got what's the new one? I think there's a Shattered and a There's 2 or 3 Generations books. In 2 weeks, they got one called Infinite Frontier that's supposed to be setting up a lot of the future stuff that they're doing. A lot of people have been saying that Future State was a reboot, and I think Infinite Frontier is the actual reboot, if you want to call it that. I totally agree.
But I think I've heard something about the continuity for the books being separate and them not having this one gigantic universe.
Right.
I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that chatter, which may make some storytelling better, because you don't have to go and check in with this writer and that writer to see if you can do this, or if this big thing you're about to do is going to affect their story and such. I like the one universe, and I like continuity as much as I've seen. But I can understand that with 20, 30, 40 titles, and who knows how many writers, and who knows how many stories, and then team books and things like that, I can see where all of that is just the fact that either Marvel or DC can actually make continuity sort of work, I think deserves some kind of kudos. Because if I had to write 2 characters, I guarantee you by issue 3, I'm going to make one character be somewhere in the book and another character be in the same place, but the other one's not showing up. That's with 2 characters. I guarantee you I'd lose continuity in a month.
Oh, it's so hard to keep track of, which is why you need good editors. And I think that's been the biggest problem at DC is just I think the editors are just not as strong, and I think they've been having a lot more issues with continuity or quality being consistent because of that.
Yes,
but there have been great books that slid under the radar over DC as well. Like I've enjoyed Far Sector, which is the new Green Lantern character. She's in the new Justice League that was Future State. And I've been enjoying. They just finished Last God in January, and I thought that was an amazing fantasy story.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that a couple of times.
That's a great one. Yeah. And then before that, I loved the Lois Lane that they did. They did a 12-issue Lois Lane story that I thought was really good and really edgy and really different and super violent. Like there was a couple of issues I was like, dang, these girls are gonna mess this guy up.
Lois Lane, really?
Well, because
Lois we're gonna write a Lois Lane book, and they're gonna be girls' nights, and there's gonna be reporting, of course, and also we're gonna have this super violence.
She's partnered in that book with Renee Montoya, who
with the
was
Question,
the police officer who became the Question.
Yeah,
and Renee Montoya throws some beat downs, man. This guy tries to assassinate Lois. I think the third issue, this guy tries to assassinate her at a restaurant where she's interviewing somebody. And he comes in and this guy's got a gun and you think he's just going to lay waste to this whole restaurant. And then Renee has been like at the bar chilling it. And then she sees this guy come in and she just like beats the crap out of this guy. She's throwing him against this wall and flipping him over this table. And it was awesome. It was like 3 pages of just her laying down the on that guy. I was like, yeah, let's do more of that.
And he has. And I assume was she there, knowing that Lois Lane may have been in trouble.
Yeah, she was watching out. She was covering her. You know.
Okay, gotcha. I was wondering if she just happened to be at the bar.
No, she was the backup, the support.
Like this guy's gonna mess up my night. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That is hilarious. And that's another thing. Getting into comics now, there are so many characters that I'd like to have a piece of, but I can only buy so many books, and I've got 2 or 3 books of reading time in me a week maybe. And so, but I'd like to know about multiple characters. You just have to pick 1 or 2 and kind of go with it.
What makes certain books really challenging. I will happily admit that the X-Men universe is super daunting for somebody who's not read any of it. Like that universe is like has grown so much since I was a kid. The amount of characters and the amount of titles and the amount of things to know, it's like, wow. Like for a new reader, that would be incredibly daunting to just dive into the world.
I tried Excalibur, and so I didn't know what I was getting into with Excalibur, but I do like the characters of Rogue and Gambit, and so I was going to try Excalibur because Rogue and Gambit were in it.
Sure.
And it took like 2 or 3 issues before my anxiety about missing X-Men and about missing X-Force. And what happens if I don't get this book and that book?
Yeah.
And I tell myself, and I tell other people when I see them in Facebook groups or whatever, complaining about the number of X titles, like find one title you like and just read it. I tell people that, but my anxiety kicks in about not actually practicing what I preach.
You gotta try Aliens. Aliens is another good one, man.
Yeah, I've heard.
There's obviously a couple of books that would be easier for new readers, but the truth is, if you're a Rogue Gambit fan, like they did a great series. I think it was just a year long, Mr. and Mrs. X.
Yes,
that was a great, great little series. If you love those characters, that's like all you need.
I purchased 6 or all 12 on Comixology. I purchased at least 6 of them on Comixology. I've got to get around to reading them, but getting around to reading old stuff when you're already reading your new stuff is kind of a task in itself.
Totally.
Yeah, I forgot I don't think it was Black History Month because it was before then. But at some point, at some point, Comixology basically made all of their Black Panther books free.
That's awesome.
And so I went on Comixology, and I took maybe an hour or two, selecting one by one all the Black Panther books that I wanted to read sometime in the future, and downloaded them all. But I'm like, well, now I've got like 100 Black Panther books. When am I going to get to these?
Well, and there's I've only ever read 2 runs. I read Ta-Nehisi. I think it's Ta-Nehisi. That run is great, and then of course the original Jack Kirby run, which is dope and really cool. I've read those 2 runs, but I haven't read a whole lot beyond that. I do know Jason Aaron did a 3-issue Black Panther story that I thought was awesome. Right in the middle of the secret invasion event where the Skrulls were invading planet Earth and pretending to be so many superheroes, they tried to invade Wakanda, and Black Panther and Storm just kicked their butts. It was amazing.
I think I've seen a panel where which one of the Black Order was in Wakanda? No. Never mind. I'm thinking about Infinity. Never mind.
That's a good story too.
But yeah, I've got to go back and read Secret Invasion. Aha.
That Kirby. That's that Kirby crackle right there, baby.
I don't know where I got this from. But, you know.
Books just appear out of nowhere.
He's always ready.
They just appear out of nowhere.
He needs to be on Comigories. Always ready.
I keep telling him the door's open. He's not ready for that, he says.
I guess I'm nervous, man.
How can you be nervous?
I get nervous watching Comigories when I got all the time in the world and I'm like pre-picking books when I see all the things.
Holy coconuts, man. We're going on here for an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Man, this is the longest I've been on the show for a minute.
That's the golden age.
Flash by night. Goodness.
I think it is. I make sure I pick these up all the time.
Yeah, man.
No, I don't think anybody wants them besides me. I see them in dollar bins and
not true, man.
That is not true. Well said, John.
There's a bunch of golden age collectors who love. I mean, I think that's a golden age. It's hard to. What's the price tag on that? 12 cents.
12 cents.
That might be considered silver age. But yeah, man, gold and silver age are where it's at for sure.
Yes. Yeah, I think I've got 6 or 7 since I started collecting.
Nice.
So whenever I'm out at a particular store and I'm flipping through and one is there, I always snatch it up. I don't think I've ever paid more than $5 for an issue. So I think that's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Flash by night. Nice. So a buddy, a coworker of mine is a former Marine, and actually no, she's still a Marine. She's a reservist right now. But she recommended a book to me. It was called The White Donkey. Have you heard of it?
The White Donkey? I have not heard of it.
No. It's a true story. It's actually a very emotional story, but it's essentially about a soldier going off to fight. I think it was in Afghanistan or maybe during the Gulf War. I can't remember. And it focuses on PTSD, and it is a shockingly real story. Highly recommend it to anybody. It's very well written. The artist is a former Army Ranger, maybe possibly a Marine as well, but he does the writing, the artwork, and everything. It's actually very, very powerful book. I highly recommend it to anybody.
So my buddy.
What's it called again, Mike?
Say again.
What's it called again?
The White
Donkey. Yeah.
So a buddy of mine collects Golden Age books. His name is DS Comics. Great guy. And this is one of the books he always teases me because it's just one of my all-time favorite Golden Age war covers. But you got the guy sweeping for mines in the front in Germany. just a beautiful cover.
John, is that an iPhone 2 or 3 or what is that?
It might be a flip phone. It might be a flip phone.
I've known John for a long time. I never said anything. I just let him be, man.
No, it's super nice. I like it.
Glasgow, man.
And he's got
that thing graded.
There's a Battlefield cover.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't.
Those Golden Age war books are amazing, and there's definitely an audience for that for sure.
Okay. And let me tell you, those older.
I didn't say anything about the phone, man.
Those older service members that did things like sweep for mines. Imagine your supervisor coming to you one day and saying, "Hey, I need you to go out in this minefield where you might get blown up. It's a 60-40 shot, but I need you to take this little machine out here and sweep for them manually." Who asked for that? But some of them went out and just gleefully. Well, I don't know about gleefully, but they did it.
They did it. It was their job. They did it, man.
Yeah. I got in trouble one time for not wanting to pick up cigarette butts. So I don't know if I'd sweep for mines. It's a long story, but not really long. Basically, a lot of the people who when I was on tour, a lot of the people who threw cigarette butts out into the courtyard or whatever in the middle of the night, getting up smoking, outranks me and some of my compadres. And so early in the morning, we got to go out and pick up the cigarette butts that we didn't smoke. And it was 110 degrees in the morning, and I'd gotten fed up with picking up cigarette butts one time. And yeah, apparently I was more belligerent than I remember being, because they took my K-bar, which is like the
knife,
nice long knife they issued. Yeah, they took my K-bar away. I'm like, and I don't remember being as belligerent about it, but apparently I was.
Yikes!
So I don't know about actually going into a minefield.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Maybe I shouldn't tell those stories out loud.
No, not at all. What are you talking about?
This is Coast to Coast Comics, man. That's what we do, man.
Are you winding down here, Rod? Where you at?
Right down to the wire right now. I want to say thank you all for hanging out with Coast to Coast Comics, man. Oh man, this has been a great night. Holy coconuts, man. We got Mike from Downright Dirty Podcast in the house. We got Flash by Night for the first time ever. This is not a cameo. This is a true first appearance. And we got we got John Comics for Kids. And he is part of, how we do. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you want to tell the people what you got going on your channel, Mike? Let them know.
They already did it.
I did mine. John didn't do it. John didn't do it.
All right. Well,
they're all good.
All right. We are out of here, guys. Be safe. And peace, love, and hair grease. How about that, man? Go school, man. I go school.
Let your soul glow.
Soul glow. Whoa! Oh man. Different story for a different day. We out of here, guys, man.
Thanks, guys.